Very good morning to all the viewers and listeners of Hello Kolkata podcast, Kolkata Calling podcast series. Today we are back again on a very special Sunday with a very special guest. We try to bring some eminent figures from the city, from the state, who are doing wonders, not just within the boundaries of the state, but even across India and even globally. Today, we are extremely honored and privileged to have our guest, যাকে আমি এক্ষুনি shortly introduce করব. And before I do that, big round of thank you to all our viewers and listeners যারা আমাদের পডকাস্ট শোনে, দেখে এবং তাদের ফিডব্যাক আমাদের সাথে শেয়ার করে. So thank you everyone for supporting us. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. It's small, but it's growing thanks to your love and support. With that, let me introduce our guest today. Today, we have Souvik Haldar. Souvik Haldar is the founder and CEO of Hornet, India's first indigenously researched and developed platform for cryptocurrency and dark web forensics. So, খুবই serious এবং খুবই জটিল ব্যাপার সেটা আমরা সৌভিকের কাছ থেকে জানবো. Souvik holds BTech in computer science from Technomains. He has a PG diploma in cybersecurity from IIT Kanpur and an MBA in finance. He has over 8 years experience in the industry. Previously, he's also worked in an Israeli cybersecurity company. Under his leadership at Hornet, they have won multiple awards, including Best Startup Award at ABP Infocom, Best Innovation Award from the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, grants from DST, STPI, MIT, and raised over $500,000 from Artha Ventures. Hornet today has been successfully deployed across multiple agencies like Telangana Police, AP Police, ED, West Bengal Police, and more. Souvik himself has trained officers across multiple states and institutions like SVPNPA, CDTI, SVSPA, WEBL, CCOE, and many more. So অনেক কিছু জানার আছে সৌভিকের কাছ থেকে, অনেক কিছু শেখার আছে আমাদের শ্রোতা এবং দর্শকদের। তো সেই বলে আমি সৌভিককে আমাদের মেন স্টেজে ইন্ট্রোডিউস করি। Souvik, thank you so much for joining us on our Hello Kolkata podcast. Thank you for taking the time and sharing your journey with our viewers.
Thank you so much, Suvik, for inviting me. Actually, I am privileged. I don't know if I deserve it or not, but I'm really privileged that you have invited me and happy to be here.
Yeah, no, we have been following the Hornets journey and your journey for a while, and you have been going from strength to strength. And we would love to understand, how Hornet and this whole idea and this, startup that you started, and all the great work that you are doing in the field of cybersecurity, crypto forensics. We'll understand all of that. But before we go there, would love to understand a little bit about your early days, early journey, growing up days, early education, and সেখান থেকে we'll go into তোমার interest in these fields.
Sure. So I was born and brought up in a very small town called Adra, ADRA in Purulia district. আমি সেখানেই স্কুলিং করি কেভি আদ্রাতে, কেন্দ্রীয় বিদ্যালয় আদ্রাতে, দিয়ে তারপর কলেজ টেকনোতে वगैरह वगैरह. তো আর্লি ডেজে মানে আই ওয়াজ অলওয়েজ ইন্টারেস্টেড ইন ইলেকট্রনিক্স. তো ইভেন ফ্রম ক্লাস 3 or 4 আমি ইভেন ছোটবেলাতে মা বলতো যে আমি খেলনার সাথে খেলতাম কম, সেটাকে ভেঙে তার সার্কিট গুলোকে নিয়ে বেশি করতাম. তো ইভেন ক্লাস 3-4 আই রিমেম্বার আই বিল্ড স্টাডি ল্যাম্প, এলইডি লাইট ইউজ করে, সেটাকে ওখানকার যে এমপি ছিলেন তারই they were so happy, they encouraged, they I gifted it to him. So I kept doing that. আমি মানে পার্টস খুলে সোল্ডারিং করা, পিসিবির সাথে খেলা, ট্রানজিস্টর, ক্যাপাসিটর, ট্রান্সফরমার, এগুলোকে দিয়ে খেলা, দ্যাট ওয়াজ মাই হ্যাপিনেস. আমি শুধু ওইসবই করতাম. Then school happened, college happened, conventional পড়াশোনা happened, which felt like more. I didn't enjoy it that much, but I was always into these things. So I'm very happy that আমি এখন আবার সেগুলো করতে পারছি. Although এখন আমার পজিশনটা অনেকটাই আলাদা. Being the CEO is a completely different kind of an experience, but also it has a good opportunity, good experiences, leadership. So yeah, I think I'm very lucky and privileged that I am getting to work on something I love.
Hmm. And this is, I think, very, I would say, symptomatic of all, great founders that we've had the opportunity to speak to, that something that they were passionate about, they were make able to make it into their career, and they were able to start something even if they couldn't probably do it in their regular, career that they had before becoming an entrepreneur. তুমি যেটা বললে, you always had an interest in, circuits, playing with electronics. Uh, After your education, engineering in computer science, from there, what was your career trajectory like? And how did you go into and land up in this domain of cybersecurity blockchain?
Right. So, in college itself, I did an internship at a startup called Hasura, which is India's first deep tech unicorn. I
Hmm.
guess 117th or something. So I had the privilege of working there in the third year itself. তো তখনই আমি স্টার্টআপের ফিলটা পাই
Hmm.
যে what is a startup in third year, which is roughly 2017. তো তখন থেকেই এই জিনিসটা ক্লিয়ার হয়ে যায় যে আমার তো স্টার্টআপেই থাকতে চাই, মানে আই ওয়ান্ট টু লার্ন আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড এন্ড বিল্ড এ স্টার্টআপ বিকজ অফ দ্য হাসল কালচার, hackers building stuff and this that people are মানে it's very creative. You have the freedom to do whatever you want.
Hmm.
So I was very happy there. So এখানেই আমি ডিসাইড সেই সময় ডিসাইড করেছিলাম যে স্টার্টআপসেই থাকতে চাই। তো I have been in startups all along. So third year প্রথমই startup ছিল আমার হাসুরা, তারপর Slapalicious, যেখানে কি I get the mentor who still helps me, the CEO of Slapalicious, Akshay Dua. So he is still helping me as a mentor in this startup. So উনি সেখানে আমার হাতে খড়ি করান অনেক জিনিসে, অনেক জিনিস শিখতে পাই। Then I moved to another startup for the opportunity to learn more. So I've been in startups all along, different startups, mostly out of India, but
Hmm.
all other startups এ কাজ করি, mostly as a hardcore engineer, and I loved it. But deep inside একটা sense of dissatisfaction ছিল যে I'm not able to build for my own self. আর এটাও খারাপ লাগতো যে কলকাতা বা ইন্ডিয়া ইন পার্টিকুলার প্রোডাক্টের খুব একটা নাম নেই গ্লোবালি,
Hmm.
যে একটা প্রোডাক্ট বানাবে, নট জাস্ট সাইবার সিকিউরিটি বাট গ্লোবালি প্রোডাক্টস। তো সেই একটা জিনিস ছিল যে আই ওয়ান্ট টু ডু দ্যাট। তো আচ্ছা, টেকিং আ বিট ব্যাক, সো ওটা করতে করতে দেন আই গেট ইনটু দ্য হার্ডকোর সাইড। আই ওয়াজ আ সফটওয়্যার ইঞ্জিনিয়ার বাই ট্রেনিং, কম্পিউটার সায়েন্স বিটেক, সফটওয়্যার ইঞ্জিনিয়ার, সফটওয়্যার বানাতাম। 2.5 বছর আমি সফটওয়্যার ইঞ্জিনিয়ারিং, হার্ডকোর সফটওয়্যার ইঞ্জিনিয়ার। তারপর আমি পিজি ডিপ্লোমা কোর্সটা দেখলাম আইআইটি কানপুরে, অ্যাপ্লাইড দ্যাট এন্ড 50 প্রফেশনালস গট ইনটু ইট. So that had a good experience there. We learned. Taपर got into cybersecurity.
Hmm.
Cybersecurity, when I got into a very good cybersecurity startup called Cloud Vector, সেইখানেই দেখি যে people have built a product, and that they even got an exit. It was a $30 million exit. Got acquired by another firm called Imperva, an Israeli firm. So that was an experience of completion. So I started with Slapalicious, which was an early stage product, মানে একদম pre-seed level. তারপর
Hmm.
a startup, which made an exit. So I felt like I have completed the entire journey of a startup. So শুরু কি করে হয়, close কোথায় হয়. So at that point, I believe যে now আমার startups এর থেকে startups এর ব্যাপারে শেখাটা is kind of done. At least আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ডিংটা আছে। তো এবার নিজের কিছু শুরু করা যায়। তো 2022-এর শেষে আমি ছাড়ি চাকরি দিয়ে। তখন আমার কোনো আইডিয়া ছিল না, আই জাস্ট লেফট ইট জাস্ট লাইক দ্যাট।
Hmm.
দেখা গেল যে আইডিয়া খুঁজে নেওয়া পরে। সো বিকজ আনলেস ইউ মুভ আউট দ্য কমফর্ট জোন, ইটস ভেরি ডিফিকাল্ট। আর চাকরিতে স্পেশালি ইন আইটি সেক্টর, ওয়ার্ক ফ্রম হোম, দিস ইজ অ্যাবসলিউটলি আ কমফর্ট জোন। So
Hmm.
I had to get out of it. Idea ছিল না। Then I got this idea that India needs this, and আর সেই সময় I think I was going through a phase of depression also. যে I felt like I don't have a purpose in life.
Hmm.
So I used to continuously question me as well as my loved ones. So what is my purpose in life? I don't know.
Hmm.
And I used to bug them. সবসময় জিজ্ঞেস করতাম যে আমি কি করতে চাই, I don't know. But I want to be engaged with something. But what is that something? I spent a long time solidarity in solitaire actually. I used to live alone, work from home alone. So I was in complete isolation. I kept myself in complete isolation for a very long time.
Hmm.
Uh, Then luckily this idea got stuck, and I had a resonance, absolute resonance. If I want to do something, it is this.
Hmm.
And with that, I started. But to get to this point, I had to keep myself in isolation for a very long time. I'm talking about years. So
Hmm.
এই পয়েন্টে যখন আসছে তো তখন it was the idea of Hornet. It was it was a hit. I knew I wanted to do it, and I started alone. Then I participated in competitions. First was Bengal Chamber of Commerce Director Competition should Ideathon 6. ওইখানে জিতি, which I would say personally was not a very tough competition. There was not a lot of competition that time. So I won relatively easily. But that gave me an exposure. Luckily, by virtue of being in Calcutta, এটা যদি আমি ব্যাঙ্গালোরে করতাম হয়তো পেতাম না। বাট এখানে আমি পেয়েছি সেই অপরচুনিটিটা। সেখানে বেঙ্গল চেম্বার আমাদেরকে পিচ করতে শেখায়। মানে অ্যাটলিস্ট ওই ওই সেটিংটা দেয়, এনভায়রনমেন্টটা দেয় যে হোয়াট ইজ feels like startup business. What is meant by business? I feel the Bengal chamber there. So that was a big thing. I started alone. I started, then another guy joined, but he also left because he could not handle the pressure. But then one of my childhood friends, my brother from my school, he told Souvik, I want to help you. And he didn't have a technical background as such, but he just started. He was also doing his MCA that time in
Hmm.
Chandigarh University. But he told, no, I'll help you. And I will learn whatever is needed. You are there. I know you will teach me. So
Hmm.
then he jumped in and then he started Subhrajyoti Mandal. He has been helping me throughout. That was a big help. Big help. Although I jumped in
Hmm.
thinking, "Jay, I'm coding never," but it's not a lonely sport. You need good people, good co-founders with you. And I was absolutely fortunate to have him. Although he does not bring the technical experience, but somebody with you to start with, and he has learned throughout the time. So, এটা অনেকে বলে, even I also realize that you need good people to start with.
Sure.
Hard skills পরে চলে আসবে, so technical হোক non technical হোক পরে চলে আসবে, but good people to start with. Then
Hmm.
we started, and things turned out
Yeah.
one after the other, and yeah.
And we'll get into the Hornet journey. But Shobik, I think a couple of things that you mentioned, and I'll sort of go a little deeper into it. So one, I think you mentioned that spending a lot of time in solitude. Je tumi, you also sort of said that it was taking a toll on your mental health. And I think for a lot of people that I have spoken to, even personally, experience that COVID period of staying at home, not being able to interact with people, complete isolation, that also had a lot of, I would say, negative adverse mental health effects on people. But তার মধ্যে থেকেও প্রচুর creativity generate হয়েছে. And I have spoken to many people who have said that the idea to start up probably came from that isolation that they were in, and they were sort of looking for a purpose, a meaning. Tell us a little bit about that process. I know it's in the past, and that gave you the impetus to start up, but tell us a little bit about that change in mindset where you feel a little hopeless at times, but from there to find something to do. Take us a little through that journey.
Right, right, absolutely. And I believe mental health is something that has been affecting more people. It's not just me
Hmm.
or some other people. I believe many people of my age, or many ages, but especially the younger ones, they are, many people are struggling with mental health. So I hope if I share this story, maybe it will help others also. So I'll take a step back and try to revisit. I hope this helps others also. So
Hmm.
I was doing work from home since 2018, and
Hmm.
COVID started in 2020 and mid 2020.
2020 start.
So for
2020
2.5 years,
Hmm.
शुरू है मार्च अप्रैल दिए मार्च से
Hmm.
शुरू है अप्रैल. So, but I was doing in 2018. So, my work from home experience actually predates 2 years more. 2018 তে কলকাতায় স্পেশালি
Hmm.
হয়তো অনেকে করতো, বাট যখন আমি বলতাম ওয়ার্ক ফ্রম হোম লোকেরা বুঝতে পারতো না হোয়াট ইজ দিস, একটা ইউএসএ স্টার্টআপ তুমি কলকাতায় থেকে কাজ করছো, এই জিনিসটা কি, মানে দিস কনসেপ্ট মানে এখন যতটা কমন ওয়ার্ক ফ্রম হোম,
Hmm.
2018 ততটা কমন ছিল না কিন্তু। কলেজের প্রফেসররা বলতো যে এটা কি, মানে ওয়ার্ক ফ্রম হোম মানে কি। So, I was doing work from home that time only. And I guess by
Hmm.
virtue of doing work from home, when things were also normal, that also kept me in isolation. So I was in
Hmm.
isolation, যেটা লোকেরা অনেকটা mental health struggle করছো during COVID. I was struggling with it in 2018 only because I was doing work from home. আর
Hmm.
আমার অতটা ঘোরার রাস্তা খুব একটা ছিল না, ইচ্ছে বা। So I was in isolation for a very long time, even before COVID. So when COVID started and everybody started doing work from home, it was
Hmm.
like everybody came to my zone.
Hmm.
So I was in solitude for a longer time actually, but this thing has happened during that time, and I made a conscious decision that I wanted to do something that was there. বললাম যে 2017 থেকে ওই স্টার্টআপের বাগটা একটু ছিল। So
Hmm.
maybe that is also a reason that I wanted to do something. I had two options. I can get a very comfortable job, move to Bangalore, have parties in weekends. So I
Hmm.
felt like that is, I cannot do that now because that I felt is a sort of escapism.
Hmm.
I don't want to escape just yet. Maybe at time when I feel like I'm settled, or I don't know what is that phase, but I want to get into that phase now.
Sure.
But that time I didn't want it to settle. I wanted that I will build something, whether I succeed or not, and then I'll see. So
Hmm.
this thing was always there since 2017. So there was a conscious decision to keep myself in solitude, read books, try to understand, figure out things, be with the technology. And I have actually built 100 projects. If you open my GitHub repository, you will see there are 100 projects. Hornet was 101th project. So this was just another project. And almost all the projects I did was with the intention of building a startup. I was
Hmm.
thinking of
Wow.
names. But Hornet was just 101th project. So, but the thing that helped me get out of this thing was the fact এটা সবাই হয়তো করতে পারে. I was reading a book by The Purpose in Life by Viktor Frankl, I guess. How to find the purpose in life.
Man search for
নামই
meaning
তার বোধ হয় Man Search for Meaning. I'm so
হ্যাঁ,
sorry.
হ্যাঁ।
I'm
ও,
so sorry.
খুবই ভালো বই,
আমি ওই
খুবই ভালো বই।
থিমের সাথে এতটা গুলিয়ে ফেলেছি, ভিক্টর ফ্র্যাঙ্কেল। So that book was really good.
Yeah.
এরও আরো আরো কিছু বই আছে। তো তখন I felt, even I talked to a friend called Costa, very close friend and kind of a my go-to person. So he told me कि, maybe you can look for something which impacts not just you but more than you. It helps
Mhm.
people around you, and
Hmm.
that was a moment. আমি এই জিনিসটা বুঝলাম কস্তাবের থেকে আর বই পড়ে যে when you do when you do something which impacts more than you,
Hmm.
which helps people around you, helps other live a better life, or basically something greater than you, more than you, that can be an amazing, uh, you can say, purpose in life,
Mhm.
which I have been hearing রিলসে বলো বা ইউটিউবে বলো, সব জায়গায় বড় বড় লোকেরা বলে যে হ্যাঁ, doing things for others and this that. I felt like, oh no, come on, this is all just for money sake, marketing sake.
Hmm.
But I realized at that point it has instantly hit me, and that has immensely helped me out of getting into this brain rot. J, what
Hmm.
is my purpose in life? I have probably got my girlfriend mad at times. So what is my purpose in life? She has been listening to me. But that gave me a immense boost. So now it was clear I have to do something which helps people around me. I had the knowledge in cybersecurity. I have recently acquired knowledge of blockchain. So if you
Mhm.
combine these three, helping people more than me, cybersecurity and blockchain, the combination of these three gives rise to Hornet. Hornet is a software that helps in forensics, which helps the law enforcement track criminals and give justice to people.
Brilliant.
It is a combination of cybersecurity and blockchain, and it helps people, helps their life. Because now, if you see, all these crimes are online. আজকাল
Yeah.
বাইরে ডাকাতি বা পকেট মারি এসব আর হয় না, everything is online.
Yeah.
So I that gave me an instant resonance that I want to do
Mhm.
this. Hornet
And
যদি concept দেখো, it is very complicated in nature. So
hmm.
that also gave me a challenge. So again, it felt like a guy.
And no, thanks for sharing this journey, Shovik. Also, at the time that all of this was happening in your life, the world around was also changing very drastically with influx of
Yes,
new technology. মানে এআই তখনও অতটা মেইন স্ট্রিম হয়নি যখন এখন হয়ে গেছে, বাট ক্রিপ্টোকারেন্সি হ্যাড মেড ইটস ফার্স্ট প্রেজেন্স ফেল্ট। অনেকে ক্রিপ্টোতে টাকা লাগানো শুরু করে দিয়েছিল, অনেকে তাতে মানে some have become very rich, some have been ruined also. All of this was happening, and then as these things started changing, as you rightly said, okay, the nature of crime also changed with that, with new technology. Digital arrests became common, hacking became more and more common, and the field that you work in, cryptocurrency, cyber security, সেখানেও প্রচুর মানে changes were happening. Dark web became something that we got to know, that dark web এমন কিছু একটা আছে. So এই যে changing landscape of technology, and along with that associated crime, and somewhere you said that you wanted to help people, so you found this resonance of cybersecurity, blockchain, and helping people. সেটা থেকে যদি হর্নেটের আর্লি যে মানে build of the product, what it is able to do, how it is able to do, সেটা যদি একটু simple layman term if you can explain to our viewers and listeners.
হুম, নিশ্চয়ই। তো cryptocurrency is, you can say, a form of currency that can be transferred from one person to another without the interference of any third party. এখন আমরা ইউপিআই তে একে অপরকে টাকা পাঠাতে পারি, বাট সেই টাকাটা কিন্তু অ্যাকচুয়ালি ব্যাংকের থ্রু দিয়ে যাচ্ছে, মানে ব্যাংকের সার্ভার যেমন দেয়, সেই হলে এটা
There's
হবে
a
না।
centralized authority which is controlling
There is a
everything.
centralized authority that is there, ওরা না থাকলে হবে না। So if you look at the history of money, there are certain very good books about it. Again, this gave me an opportunity to read. But anyway, it's very interesting. So 2008 যখন এই ওয়ার্ল্ড ক্রাইসিস হয়, লিম্যান ব্রাদার্স ক্র্যাশ যেটা হয়,
Mhm.
তো পিপল গেভ আপ অন কারেন্সি, দ্য কারেন্ট কারেন্সি। এটারও অনেক কিছু হয়েছে। ইন 60s 70s it was gold backed, এখন গোল্ড নেই, they are just printing money, so there's no point of currency anymore. সাতোশি নাকামোটো বলে একজন একটা পেপার পাবলিশ করে, সেখানে বিটকয়েনের কনসেপ্টটা আসে। বিটকয়েন স্ট্যান্ডার্ড বলে, which is written by সাইফুদ্দিন আমোস। ও মানির হিস্ট্রিটা বলে যে হোয়াট ইজ মানি।
হুম
আগে আমাদের বার্টার সিস্টেম দিত, কেউ কাউকে গরু দিল, সে তাকে ছাগল দিল, এরকম ভাবে টেন্ডারটা হতো। তারপর কনসেপ্ট অফ shells and pebbles and just
হুম
copper stuff came. So এইভাবে it has evolved. But when the currency came in, and now even যে ইউএস, যার কারেন্সিতে আমরা বেশিরভাগ নিজেদের ফরেক্স রিজার্ভকে হোল্ড করি, they're just printing money out of thin air. That
হুম
again reduces basically it's a form of mafia, money mafia. That's how they control the world. So এখানে 2009 কনসেপ্টটা আসে বিটকয়েনের, যেখানে কি this was an amazing technology. When I read about it, I was blown away. I was a
হুম
techie, but I didn't know about it. But 2022 I by after going to a conference called Metamorphosis, I got into this blockchain world and started reading. আমি বিটকয়েন শুনতাম, but অত জানতাম না জিনিসটা। But when I get into the depth of it, I realized যে এরকম একটা জিনিস আছে যেটাতে করে কি দুজন একে অপরের সাথে ইন্টারঅ্যাক্ট করতে পারে, কোনো থার্ড পার্সনের দরকারও নেই, and it will be 100% accurate. No hacks, no trust issues, no inflation. Rather, there's a
হুম
concept of deflation there. And it has been working since 2009. আজ অব্দি একবারও হ্যাক হয়নি।
হুম
So how is it working? So I get into the depth of blockchain technology. Blockchain later underneath আছে। ব্লকচেন নিয়ে
sure.
পড়লাম, তারপর ক্রিপ্টোগ্রাফির ব্যাপারে, ম্যাথমেটিক্স এর ব্যাপারে পড়লাম, ওটা বুঝলাম। And I was blown away. যে how these things are একটা 9 পাতার রিসার্চ পেপার, 2009 9 বা 10 পাতার পেপার সাতোশি নাকামোটো পাবলিশ করে, that has changed, revolutionized the world. Revolutionized. There are
হুম
ফেসবুক, গুগলের কাছে 30-40 হাজার এমপ্লয়ি আছে, ইঞ্জিনিয়ার্স। টপ ওয়ান
হুম
পার্সেন্ট অফ টপ 1% ইঞ্জিনিয়ার্সরা আছে। তাও গুগল হ্যাক হয়, তাও ফেসবুক হ্যাক হয়।
হুম
বিটকয়েনের একটাও ইঞ্জিনিয়ার নেই, কোনো সার্ভার নেই, কিছু
হুম
নেই। ইট ইজ রানিং আনহ্যাকড। সো এটা পড়ার পরে আই ওয়াজ ব্লোন অ্যাওয়ে। সো দিস থিং ক্রিপ্টো ইজ এ মেকানিজম যে ট্রান্সফার করতে পারি। এবার দিস ইজ রেভলিউশন, যেটা আমি বললাম এতক্ষণ ধরে বললাম, দিস ইজ রেভলিউশন। বাট যেহেতু এর অ্যাওয়ারনেসটা এত কম, সেই জিনিসটাকে ইউজ করা হচ্ছে ইন মাল্টিপল নেগেটিভ ওয়েজ।
Hmm.
সেটা মানি লন্ডারিং বলো, বা স্ক্যাম বলো, ফ্রড বলো, বা টেররিজম ফিনান্সিং বলো। Because underneath every evil in this world are two things. One is fear, one is greed.
Sure.
So this greed part was financed is mainly money. But money in which form? It was in hard cash, তারপর online, তারপর এখন ক্রিপ্টোর দিকে যাচ্ছে। This is a world problem. And actually,
Sure.
এটা যখন 2023-এ ইন্ডিয়া হোস্টেড G20 summit, that time I was there. So ওইখানে জানতে পারি যে মানে I was anyway working on this. At some point I was frustrated যে there is no demand for Hornet. Why am I even building?
Hmm.
2023-তেইশই ছিল যখন এই G20 সামিটটা হোস্ট করে, তখন বলে সব দেশে আমরা এমন সফটওয়্যার খুঁজছি, সব দেশের লোকেরা এমন সফটওয়্যার খুঁজছে যেটাতে করে ক্রিপ্টোকারেন্সি বা ডার্ক ওয়েবে যে ক্রাইম গুলো হচ্ছে সেটাকে ট্রেস করা যায়।
Wow.
And I was like, I am just building that. I'm just trying to build that only for last 6-7 months. So that gave me a boost. তো এইটাই যে একটা ক্রাইম, অ্যাওয়ারনেস কম, সফটওয়্যার ইন্ডিয়াতে নেই, মেড ইন ইন্ডিয়া নেই, অলদো দিস ইজ ক্রিটিক্যাল ফর ন্যাশনাল সিকিউরিটি নেই। তো অগেন দিস ওয়াজ দ্য রিজন আই ডিড দ্যাট। আমি বুঝতে পারলাম
Hmm.
এই ক্রাইমের ব্যাপারটা বা ক্রিপ্টো কেন ইউজ হচ্ছে।
একদম, একদম। আর আর আমি মানে যেহেতু মানে তোমার সাথে কথা হবে বলে আমি একটু নিজেও একটু এটা নিয়ে পড়াশোনা করার চেষ্টা করছিলাম। অবভিয়াসলি অনেকটাই আমার মাথার উপর দিয়ে বেরিয়ে গেল। But what I understood is that, cryptoতে there is no centralized bank. It's all decentralized.
হুম
That's one.
হুম
And then through a key and মানে encrypted key, which is
হুম হুম
personal to you,
হুম
you are able to
হুম
send money, and that person with their key is able to decrypt that and get the money
ইয়েস
realized essentially in terms of crypto coins, but whatever be
ইয়েস
that currency, মানে বিটকয়েন আছে, বিটকয়েনের এতগুলো ডেরিভেটিভস এখন টাইপের আছে।
হ্যাঁ
um,
হ্যাঁ
and obviously, since the identity is not sort of provided to a central authority, যেমন Aadhaar,
হুম
PAN, all of these are not linked in that sense. People
হুম
obviously use it for nefarious means, for trading in illegal substances, etc., and
রাইট
making payments through crypto,
রাইট
which is untraceable. And obviously, a lot of mainstream movement has happened where cryptocurrency or trading has started. Exchanges have been built, crypto wallets people are using at a certain point of time. Then government regulations went a little back and forth because it was completely
হুম
unregulated. Government, they could not get into it, and all of
হুম
that problems were there. But what I also understood a little bit, and you can correct me, that the fundamental of blockchain technology ensures that any wrong player in the network will get immediately caught out, so that you can't
হুম
fudge how much balance you have in crypto, or you can steal from somebody in crypto, because the network itself protects the members of the network. Is something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. You're spot on. You're absolutely spot on.
Okay,
So
so
here
so
something called
hmm,
consensus mechanism happens. Consensus
hmm,
মানে voting হয়, internally voting হয়। ভোট
hmm,
করে, there is proof of work, there is proof of stake, proof করে লোকেরা, মানে it's democracy. It's a
hmm,
digital democracy where we are not participants but the nodes are participants. Voting happens, people
hmm.
elect a miner and things happen. So it's basically democracy.
Very
How
nice.
election happens.
And Shobik, so from there, so you beautifully laid out, the need for it, the current technology, and obviously what you were building at a very, I would say, opportune time. So from there, what was the first success of Hornet, in terms of foraying and bringing it into the, public domain, where you start talking to stakeholders in the government, in cybersecurity, in the investor landscape, সেটা যদি একটু বলো, take us a little through that journey.
হুম, রাইট। সো এই যে হর্নেট প্রোডাক্টটা আমরা বানাচ্ছি, if you think about it, this is not something that is discussed in places like Shark Tank বা এই
Hmm.
জাতীয় জায়গায়। কারণ কি অর্ধেক লোক তো বুঝবে না, যারা বুঝবে তারা ভাববে এটা কি, মানে what is the need even, because Shark Tank, if you see, has and they have set a very wrong precedent. they're calling many things, and I hope I can use your platform to convey my message that I've been thinking to ventilate for a very long time.
Sure.
Is that people have completely lost the difference between what is a startup and a business. কিছুদিন আগে দেখছিলাম একটা পাব খুলেছে সাউথ ক্যালকাটাতে, সেটাকে স্টার্টআপ বলছে। ইটস আ স্পোর্টস বার, সেটাকে স্টার্টআপ বলছে। ফুচকার দোকান আসছে, সেটাও স্টার্টআপ। So there is a very clear cut difference. Okay, it's not startup. So fundamental difference is, if you have a business which can make money from day one, it is business. If you cannot, and there is a process involved that you have to build a POC, proof of concept, that is resolved, then you do the demo, then there is a reaches a stage called PMF, product market fit, then you generate revenue, and there's a process involved. It's a startup. It a difference. So having said that, I was hopeless. So Hornet will ever raise money.
Mm.
ঠিক আছে? So I participated in a competition called STPI Chunauti. STPI
Mm-hmm.
Software Technology Parks of India under the Ministry of IT. এটা কিন্তু আমাদের গভর্নমেন্ট অনেক সাপোর্ট করছে এই জিনিস, আর আই এম ভেরি থ্যাঙ্কফুল ফর দ্যাট। তো সেই কম্পিটিশনে আমি পার্টিসিপেট করি, আর সেইটাতে পিচ করে they identified the problem, they understood that it has a potential, and then I gave almost 9 rounds of interview. ঠিক আছে? 9 rounds, huge. Like ওরা কি করছে, STP has done a very good job. ওরা একটা VC panel রেখে দিয়েছে পুরো। It is STP's money but given to VCs. Now they will use their best judgment to invest in companies. So সরকার ওদেরকে সাপোর্ট করছে। This is a very very good arrangement, I would say. So
Mm.
one of the VCs called Pontac identified us, and their head luckily gave us some time to discuss. So they selected us, and that gave us 25 lakhs in pre-seed funding. That was the toughest part of Hornet because I was without salary for 14 months. It was a difficult time, but we got the money finally, and that has tremendously given us a boost. And that I would credit as the first success of Hornet. It is validation the power. They believe
Mm-hmm.
I was able to convey.
Yeah. And obviously, you had been building in a silo. You got noticed, you cleared this round, you got the funding, uh, which is definitely validation. But then that validation also now needs to be executed, and you need to
Yeah,
execute it to a certain customer, for a certain customer.
yeah.
So tell us about finding the first customer, whether it was a law enforcement agency or whether it was a financial institution. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
Right. So সেটাকে আমি তো ফান্ডিং হিসেবে মানে কোম্পানি ফার্স্ট রেকগনিশন দিলাম, বিকজ উই গট রেকগনিশন, উই গট মানি অ্যান্ড উই গট রেকগনিশন।
Sure.
তারপরে we started building, and the first recognition in customer front was again by help of Bengal Chambers of Commerce. We reached out to them and telling ki, this software can be sold to police, so can you connect us to police? আমার family history থেকে police নয়। I
Hmm.
don't have any connections, no godfather, not even my partner Subrodhi, he doesn't have. Bengal Chamber connected us with then Commissioner uh, that time. He connected us to STF Kolkata. In STF Kolkata, we went and we told that we are building a product like this. Do you think it will help you? And they told something, is that we have been using this product made by a foreign company for last many years. We are facing issues. We are actually looking for alternative, and we are very happy that you have come up and we are trying to solve this. So we definitely need this software, and we will help you also in the way, however we
Mhm.
can, to build the
Hmm.
product. So that was the first recognition, first PMF, I would say.
Yeah. And then obviously from there, I think the journey has been, very, I would say, spectacular. Though obviously because of the nature of the domain you are in, you obviously have to keep everything very, very, confidential, top secret, because of the nature of work in which your product is being used. But without getting into specifics, can you tell us a little about some of the examples of, uh, agencies that you work with or financial institutions that you work with, and the kind of impact that Hornet has had for them?
Yeah, sure. So there has been many by now, but I'll take one from different categories. একটা
Mm-hmm.
category তো যেখানে normal people are getting facing issues, যেমন কি বললাম, there was a person in one city and we are working with the law enforcement agency of that city, not India, not Bengal.
Mm-hmm.
তো সেইখানে one person was hacked, তার টাকা ক্রিপ্টো থ্রু দিয়ে ইনভেস্ট করতে গেছে, পিক চেকিং স্ক্যাম। সেই টাকা দিয়েছে, টাকাটা তারপর বাইরে বিদেশ চলে গেছে। সেইটাকে আমরা হেল্প করে সেই টাকাটা ওকে ফেরত দেওয়াই, and that money actually came back from China. So
Mm-hmm.
that was first of its kind, যেখানে কি money was siphoned off, scammed money was siphoned off to another country. That case was fought. We did the investigation. Reports were submitted to the authorities. They reached out to the honorable courts. Bilateral discussion happened, and money has come back from another country to this. So that was a moment. And also, that was in one category. Another category where we have seen uh, money from scam call centers being sent to some non-ally countries
Mm-hmm.
for
Sure.
some reasons. So that was again a big revolution that terrorism financing is also happening via cryptocurrency. And there is a network if you follow. Recently, if you see the CEO of Binance was fined 38,000 crore. The company was fined 38,000 crore. The CEO was in jail. জেল থেকে
Mm-hmm.
বেরোয় ইউএসএ তে, আর পাকিস্তানে তাকে ক্রিপ্টো অ্যাডভাইজার বানিয়ে দেওয়া হয়,
Mm-hmm.
national crypto
Mm-hmm.
advisor of Pakistan is. So if you look at geopolitics, I guess it is
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, and
making a
and,
big
and
impact
if
there.
I remember correctly, this CEO of Binance was pardoned by President Trump even after what happened. And then, as you mentioned, this news was new to me, that he's become the advisor, crypto advisor for a neighboring country. Uh, okay, so this is another example that you talked about. So financial fraud is one, and what you mentioned about the scam calls, the scam person does not always have his or her savings in crypto. They have it in normal currency assets. Is there a way that the scamsters are taking money from your savings and then moving it into the crypto world so that it becomes untraceable,
Yeah,
findable?
yeah, they're doing
Okay.
that.
And tell us a little bit about more about working with the law enforcement agencies, because obviously, uh, at least our perception as very common public is that it's only the geeks and the hackers who understand this world, and the police force or the cyber crime agencies are quite a few years behind in their understanding of technology, in their skill sets, and that is why they have to get the support of a more, I would say, young tech savvy professionals to come in. And we have seen this in movies as well, that the police force has to employ some kind of a hacker or some kind of a cybersecurity professional, a young person sitting on his or her laptop doing codes to help the police. Tell us about this journey of breaking the awareness barrier, and also about educating the police force or enforcement agencies on the new technologies, on the loopholes in the existing technologies, and how Hornet is bridging that gap.
Right. So yeah, I mean that's a fact. So our law enforcement agencies are used to be at least behind in cyber world because
Hmm.
they were not trained. The people that they have hired that time, they were not such trained or hired on that purpose and everything. So of course that capability is lacking, but I guess they have realized the importance of cyber because now most of the things are cyber. So
Hmm.
now they are being heavily trained. Very good officers are there who are very tech savvy. So I believe a change is happening. very rapid pace, and now there are very good officers helping. Although the gap is still there, but they are trying. The law enforcement in most of the places are trying to be aware. Now they don't have dependency, complete dependency on guys wearing hood and hacking in the dark. They have their own capabilities, understanding. Very good officers, some very good officers are there. So they are doing that, and people like us. But still, there will be help in specialized areas. So that is also one of the reasons, like I told you, I wanted to help greater good. So I wanted to help via this also, that Hornet can be a medium for that, and we are doing that. And of course, that need is always going to be there because this is again specialized. These things are
Yeah.
typically specialized. So I will not expect more from them, but we, as well as other companies or other startups, can also help law enforcement in this category. So yes, this bridge is being managed. Um we are helping. We are trying to do our absolute best. But the thing with people like us, especially who come from very small town, is that you are doing that. You have all the complete right intentions, but that fear is also somewhere there that if we are not able to do a good job, or
Mhm.
maybe we make mistakes, so it can have major repercussions, which I hope government will take notice, because we are not that capable. I mean, we are trying our best. We are trying our absolute best to gather a team, build a startup, and do that. But it's not going to be that level. So I hope by virtue of your medium, we can spread the word that to provide some more support to such startups who are working in such critical situations, to help them
Mhm.
on ground, because we have our own all the clear intentions. But as you can understand, working with the law enforcement is sometimes difficult.
Yeah, yeah, and fair point. I mean, Shovik, I think the reason I would call it an honor to be able to have you on this show podcast is, as you mentioned, that there are a lot of amazing work that is being done. I'm not. I'll come to Kolkata and Bengal later, but across the country, which don't get enough limelight, and a lot of things which get limelight are very cosmetic in nature, because that is something that common people can understand very easily, and that sells very quickly, and those success stories are all over media. But people working in deep tech in the domains like yours, I often say these are not very sexy, because it's very difficult to convey what you are doing to common people, and that's where probably the awareness part of it is less. But it's always heartening to see institutions from the government side promoting startups like yours, organizing competitions, arranging funds, and obviously more can be done. So whatever little our channel can do, we will make an appeal to people listening, if they are in the know-how and with the right connections, to bring more support for startups such as Hornet. Shobik, I'll come to a few questions that I've have been thinking about while you were talking. One is, obviously you mentioned that when you first got your customer, the first customer, they said that we've been using a similar product made elsewhere, made outside the country, but indigenously developed. This was not there, and obviously bringing a global or a system from the West into the Indian context will have its issues. The data availability, all the integrations with different systems, all of those will play a part. How has Hornet distinguished itself from not just its global competitors, but even within the Indian ecosystem? What would you say are its USPs?
Yeah, its USP is that we have completely built from the scratch. I mean, the first line of code was
Hmm.
written in-house.
Hmm.
Nothing is imported from outside. And as you can understand, this is a national security issue. Issue of software. So critical organizations use for it. It's very important that it remains within boundaries. So we have the complete know-how. I'm not going to resource agency ke dee nahi rakhe paper or something. So the fact that it is completely researched, I mean, because the answers on how to build. Even ChatGPT cannot answer some of the things that we are researching. It's a purely research-based software, and our competitors who are foreign, They also don't share information because this is a very confidential sector. Why would anybody share? So there are no literature available. So we had to figure out things on our own.
Hmm.
It's not like a standard, let's say, grocery shopping app or library management or CRM
Sure.
or softwares like that, which is standard. We know what to expect. It's just that how you build it. We don't know how to solve Hornet. Many months down the lane, we didn't know how to solve it. No clue. I literally had to reach out to people and do very shady people, talk to them on IRC doing a hackathon, and many things were done. So it's a very unique knowledge. So we had to do research, and by the virtue of the hardship that we have taken up, that has become our USP.
Hmm.
That it is researched and developed in India. So it's a very, uh, I would say, Indian organizations can rely on us. This trust and reliability is important, and that we have baked in already.
Yeah. And obviously, in your domain, trust and reliability and security is everything,
Yeah.
which I believe also puts you under a lot of pressure, your entire team under a lot of pressure to maintain confidentiality, security, privacy of your, not just your clients, but all the research that you're doing to protect it from, again, any uh, wrong intent or malintent. uh, Shovik, I know obviously a lot of the confidential stuff we should not be discussing, and obviously you are not in the place to do that. But let's talk a little bit about, because you've had your own journey of hardships, figuring out what you wanted to do, finding the right thing that you wanted to build, and then succeeding in building it. Uh, Not a lot of deep tech startups come out of Kolkata or Bengal. You are one of the few. We've had the opportunity to talk to a couple of others in the last 1 year or so that we've been doing this podcast. And it's very heartening to see at least there are these shining examples that are there. Tell us a little bit about your experience in the, and obviously you have gone national and global, but tell us a little bit about your experience from the startup ecosystem that you saw in Kolkata, Bengal. What was good about it? What needed to be changed? If you can share your experience.
Yeah, so I think the community is missing. So in places like Bangalore, other places where founders help each other. That
Hmm.
I think is missing in Calcutta. I have tried doing it, but by the name of founders, again, very mix happens. So the real, authentic founders discussing amongst each other, that authentic group is missing, and many of the things are is not there in the literature. সেটা আমরা একে অপরের সাথে কথা বলে একে অপরকে হেল্প করেই আগে যেতে পারি তো
Hmm.
সেই কমিউনিটি জিনিসটা মিসিং আই হোপ আমরা একটু বেটার করতে পারি অ্যান্ড দ্যাট ইজ অলসো বিকজ দের আর লেস স্টার্ট আপস হিয়ার তো সেটা
Hmm.
যদি একটু ইমপ্রুভ করা যায় এটা খুব ভালো হয় যদি আমরা একে অপরকে হেল্প করতে পারি এটা খুবই ভালো হয় আর কলকাতা থেকে কিছু অনেক ভালো স্টার্ট আপস আছে জেনুইন স্টার্ট আপস নট বিজনেস স্টার্ট আপস আছে যারা কি এটা করছে দে অলসো মাইট বি স্ট্রাগলিং ইন সাইলো so I hope we can all come together to help each other out, have more trust, save each other's in times of need, and yeah, like have a
Yeah.
better brotherhood.
And talking about Hornet in specific, Hornet has been on a growth journey. As you were mentioning earlier to me, that from a very small office to a bigger office. Tell us a little bit about that growth in the team, the growth in terms of your presence, your corporate presence. Tell us a little bit about that journey as well.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it feels good to recollect that as well. So when we started, we used to write code in my home. Subhra
Hmm.
used to come sometimes on weekends. We used to write code. So my home was the office. After we got BCCI Tech Incubation, we got a small office in SDF mode, SDF building.
Yeah.
A very small office, just two of us used to sit. Then we got STPH Chunauti Fund, and we moved to a bit bigger office. It's a managed co-working space called My Office in Manika Sedona. We moved there. We have been working there for a long time. And recently, this is not even official yet, we moved. We have taken our own office, which is rented still We've taken it up in Manikasadana itself. So yeah, from my home to small two-seater in uh, SDF building to Manikasadana co-working space to having own office in
Yeah,
Manikasadana.
that's a great inspiring journey, Shobik. Shobik, keeping in mind the time, I know এক্ষুনি তোমার ফোন বাজতে শুরু করবে কোনো ল এনফোর্সমেন্ট এজেন্সির জন্য, সৌভিক এক্ষুনি এটা হেল্প করো। সেটা সেটাকে সেটার আগেই কয়েকটা ছোট ছোট প্রশ্ন আছে আমার, সেটা আমি জাস্ট কুইকলি জিজ্ঞেস করে নিয়ে উইল গো টু দ্য ক্লোজিং সাইড। what is your vision or plan with Hornet over the next few years, and this could be in terms of product technology expansion or geography expansion. Tell us a little bit about your plans for the future.
Yes, I mean, we want to establish this not just as an Indian software built by India for India. We want to help people globally because there are
Mhm.
many countries which actually needs help. Who might not have the technical know-how, the capability, or the pricing. So we wish to grow globally. We wish to help people globally. Once having we have done that, we wish to expand our product so that we help not just law enforcement but even the businesses as well as the common people
Mhm.
deal with these issues because they are also facing. It's not just law enforcement. We have to help people on ground also. So yeah, vision is to go global and then help the businesses as well as the individuals.
Yeah, and obviously, this constantly evolving field of technology in cybersecurity, is always on the move, and it's just racing at a alarming speed. And with the introduction of AI, Gen AI, I don't know how much impact that is having in your current domain and current work. Maybe you can talk a little bit about it. But it's an always ever evolving field, and you're always sort of chasing the horizon in terms of building the best in class and preventing crimes around it. How are you viewing these shifts in, let's say, the crypto world, dark web, and then the proliferation of AI, Gen AI in our common lives?
Yeah, so this is very rapidly changing. We literally have to read research papers every week. We do something called Papers We Love, where we discuss new papers. So yeah, it's constantly changing, and the only way to keep up is to be open-minded, read, and be constantly on the move. So, and
Mhm.
we do that, and yeah, just a bit of awareness and the interest, and that is true for any company. Actually, they have to be on the move and adapt. That we also do. So yeah, this is happening, and this is very real. Change
Yeah.
is very fast now than ever.
And Shobik, obviously, it's a very specialized field, as you mentioned, and obviously, you have to keep learning and expanding your knowledge. Where are you finding the talent that make Hornet? Obviously, you started writing the first lines of code, but to run an organization which is catering to clients in the law enforcement and financial space, where are you getting the talent? How are you training them? How are you grooming them? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the thing that I mainly look for during interviews is the passion. They might not know what it is or they have an idea, but the passion for tech is what I look for mainly, and that has worked. So we have hired people from all across India. There is a person from Vaticanpur only, there is a person from Delhi, there is a person from South India, there is a person from Central India, Madhya Pradesh. So people have come to join Hornet from different parts, but all of them are young. All of them are fresher. They have been trained here in Hornet, and they have been working really good. So there are many guys from Calcutta also.
Mhm.
So it's all the young guys from different parts of India that has come here.
Yeah, and I'm
They got
sure.
brain drain.
Yeah, no, that is what I was going to. I'm sure a lot of young talent from Kolkata, Bengal, hopefully listen to this journey of yours and are inspired by what you have managed to build from your home to a full-fledged organization that is solving problems, helping people. It's a brilliant story, and I'm sure a lot of young people will get inspired, if not to turn founders themselves, but to come and join Hornet if they are interested in this cybersecurity,
Sure, we're
cryptocurrency,
looking for
blockchain.
talents. We're
Yeah,
looking for talents actually.
yeah. Shobit, keeping the time crunch in mind, I have one last question, and then we'll go into a rapid fire and close. Obviously, you mentioned startups such as yours in deep tech, which are not widely talked about or glorified on magazine covers. Uh, what is your current take on raising more funds or bootstrapping or profitability? What is the I would say the magic pill that you are going after?
So we are not looking to raise funds at this point. We have decent funds. We are looking to generate revenue, reach out to more people, close deals. And as you can understand, government deals are very long term, like it takes a
Yeah,
very long time, tender and all this process. So our focus is on that part, closing more deals. And then, uh, so that was revenue is what we are looking for mainly, closing more deals.
yeah, yeah. Fantastic. All right, Shobik, I know it has been a very serious discussion on a lot of things which I, have very little knowledge about, but listening to you, I think I have a little bit now of understanding, and hope our viewers and listeners have the same. Let's get into a little bit light mode, and then we'll close with, your message to Kolkata and Kolkata calling listeners. At a rapid fire, we have recently started doing so. We'll see. Uh, Favorite startup journey or favorite founder that you are inspired by or have always looked up at?
Hmm. Uh, I would say maybe the journey of Beher. So there's another company in Calcutta, which is a company now, it's a big one. But they have been working in similar domain, and maybe Naveen Praveen as well, because they have managed to pull off a company like Beher while being in Calcutta. So that was inspiring.
Mhm. Something that a software or a tool that you are using all the time that you can't live without.
Terminal,
WhatsApp बात दिए.
I Terminal and Obsidian. ये दुটো really बोलते पारी.
Okay, Terminal and Obsidian. Acha. A book or podcast that you would recommend to young people in general, not just to become startup founders, but a book or a podcast that you really value in your life.
So I listen to uh, Nawal Ravikant,
Sure.
Osho,
Hmm.
Sadhguru. Uh, this I also read Scott Adams, the book How to Make It Big in I'm forgetting the name. It's a big name.
Hmm.
How to make it big. How to fail at everything, still make it big. That was a good book.
Okay, okay. And Naval Ravikant, I would say, as also I've enjoyed reading his almanac of Naval Ravikant, which is essentially his tweets and a little bit of explanation around those tweets. But yeah, fantastic clarity of thought, I would say. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Uh,
absolutely.
One mistake, I mean, obviously, we see the success side of things, started A, B, C, 1 to 10, 10 to 100, all of these things we see. One mistake that you would say you wish you hadn't made, but again, you might say you've learned from that mistake.
Yeah, I guess getting better chartered accountant to start the company with. They make a lot of mistakes with documents that come up in due diligence later, but we don't
Mm,
know because we are not chartered accountants. We get a
yeah,
better chartered accountant.
yeah. All right. Last question, Shobik. One piece of advice for a budding founder, let's say, who's in Kolkata or some distant town in Bengal, who's probably listening to this. One advice for them.
Spend significant time in isolation to find out what you really want to
Hmm.
do because you have to do something. You cannot
Yeah.
be a brute. You have to do something, but spend significant amount of time in finding what you really want to do, not what society wants you to do. And that to answer that, maybe you can revisit your childhood. that can be a good starting point. So spend significant amount in fine tuning, understanding what you really want to do. Once realized, whether it's sexy or not, whether it's fashionable or not, do it. Whether it
Mhm.
makes money or not, do it. You will make money eventually.
Yeah, no, brilliant. And I think, Shobik, what you mentioned that you believe in it now after all this introspection and journey that you've been through, that we all come with some purpose, and I think the key is to find that purpose. A lot of us go through lives
Yeah,
without finding that purpose, and some of us are lucky, like you, who has found his purpose, and we hope many more listening to your journey also find their purpose in life.
yeah,
Shobik,
absolutely.
it has been wonderful listening to your journey. You're very humble uh, compared to the work that you do and the impact that you're making. You have been very, very humble and modest about all the achievements that you've managed to accomplish in the last few years. Um, one message for the viewers and listeners of Kolkata Calling who will be listening to your journey from our channel. With that, we'll close.
One message would be, let's bring back the glory of Bengal. We have had stalwarts in the past. We don't have a face of Bengal for last many decades, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, and that is our hope as well. You have, you know, lit a spark, and there are many who are also doing the same. And we wish you, Hornet, and all these founders who are making a change, bringing back talent to the city, to the state, and making us immensely proud, so that we, as a channel, as a platform, can bring those stories to our listeners and viewers. Shobik, once again, thank you so much for taking the time, and really, really appreciate the work that you are doing. So, thank you from all of us. All the best. With that, we'll close.
Thank you so much, Souvik. And you're also doing amazing work spreading the word out. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.